friends. You're watching the Great American Joke Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Luke Moniz, Matthew Bassard, Chanel Ali, Mark Norman, Reese James, Ismael Lucy, and I'm Dulce Sloan. Let the joking begin. Welcome to the Great American Joke Off, the show that's just about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a variety of styles, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest. We've got lots of great games for y'all, so let's get started with the game we call You Know What Annoys Me. This is a chance for our performers to use this platform to sound off about the everyday things that really get on their last nerve. So, who's gonna start us off?
I'll tell you, these e-cigarettes are stupid, you know? The only time it's appropriate to smoke an e-cigarette is after you had sex with a sex robot.
You know what annoys me is Zoom meetings, because I'm always late to them. It's my own apartment. What excuse can you make? Hey, sorry I was late. I don't respect you. That's it.
You know what annoys me is when actors on a TV show start directing and producing that same exact TV show. I'm sorry, can we actually go to camera 4 for this one? Let's go. Let's go back to camera 4. Everybody, places, okay, rolling, action. You know what annoys me is when...
I'm glad you clarified that with an act out, because I was like, damn, Ismael's a hater.
You know what annoys me is gender reveal parties. I find them so creepy, this whole party, just to see what gender someone's child is. My parents had a gender reveal party for me, actually, which was hurtful because I was 8 at the time.
Which one was it?
You know what annoys me is that we only have gender reveal parties for babies. I think we should have gender reveal parties. You know whenever a famous politician gets caught with a prostitute? That moment of suspense, you turn on the news, they're like, Senator Robert Hutcherson, a vocal opponent of gay rights, was caught today with a prostitute. And you're just like, please be a boy. Oh, man. Red state blue balloons, you know? The confetti is just a shredded NDA.
You know, you look like Senator Hutchinson and Riss looks like the boy.
I'll see you in the airport bathroom.
Yay, love connection!
You know what annoys me? Why do married people have monogram towels? What is that? You think I'm gonna come in your bathroom and you don't have your initials on your towels? And I'm gonna be like, are these my towels? Whose towels? I'm taking these.
You know what annoys me? They let you pick your seat on an airplane. I'd rather pick who I'm sitting next to. I don't really care where I am on the plane. I'm worried about who I'm gonna be conversing with for 5 hours. You know, they should make it more like a dating app. Obese Nazi with a service dog, swipe left. Tiny Asian lady with a surgical mask, now we're talking. But then she comes on with a baby and I'm like, I got catfished.
You know, I started comedy in Philadelphia, and I'm a storyteller comedian, so there was buzz about me. People were like, this girl, she's like a young female Bill Cosby. Now nobody ever brings it up.
You know what annoys me is hypocrisy, you know? Like, how come if a girl is sat there, like, seductively licking her lips, that's sexy. But if I'm doing that, I should get off her lips.
You know what annoys me? You ladies on the dating apps. You're all a bunch of height supremacists.
You're not short.
Oh, thank you.
I'm here to help, friend.
I'll go up on you.
This is the nicest thing he's ever said to me. And I've known him for 10 years.
You know what annoys me? That the Riddler is still a man. It's 2022. The Riddler is a villain who tortures his victims by making them solve puzzles he already knows the answer to. I think a woman is more qualified for that role. Come on! Lady Riddler! crush it just playing mind games with Batman. Like, if you want to save Gotham, you have 9 hours to figure out why I'm mad at you.
You know what annoys me? Technology. I find technology very confusing. You know, the other day I sent a pic to my older sister, and instead of my younger sister.
You know what annoys me? Being hit on by a really hot gay guy. You're like, oh, what a bummer I'm not gay. This guy is a 10, you know? Being hit on by a really hot gay guy, it's kind of like finding $1 million pesos. You're like, I can't do much with this now, but once I cross that line, I'll be set.
Called What, Where, or Who. This is where we give our comedians something you might say and either a location in which to say it or a person to say it to. So everyone, your what is deleted dialogue and your where is from a sci-fi movie. Okay, so let's hear some deleted dialogue from a sci-fi movie. Take it away.
I came here to do 2 things. Create a recursive paradox and do 2 things.
Oh my God, the amulet has come to life. You know what this means? Our table at TGI's is ready.
Oh, I'm so sorry, honey. I accidentally shrunk the penis.
Welcome back to Jerry Springer. Darth Vader, you are not the father!
The Terminator has disguised himself as a human among us. We're going to need everyone to tell us which of these pictures does not contain a stop sign.
Oh no, it's the thing.
Sorry I'm late, everyone. I was just in my bunk having what we refer to here on the Falcon as a hand solo.
Oh, oops, I ate the red and the blue pill. You were taking a while to explain.
Yeah, it turns out those weren't his dark materials. We found his dark materials on a hard drive. He's now on a register.
Isn't it weird we have laser beams and lightsabers, but no smartphones?
Well, time is a relative construct based on a person's frame of reference, so from my perspective, she was 18.
Welcome to Earth, and keep my wife's name out your
Well, thank you very much. I think the winner of that round is just Luke.
Uh-huh.
Don't go away. We'll be back with more of the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now we play a game called Get Up There. 2 people are gonna do stand up and I'll decide the winner. So let's see which 2 people that's going to be. Ooh, Ismael and Reed. So you 2 both go to the stand up area. All right, Ismael, you're going first. So let's see what your subject is. Politicians. Okay, off you go.
Actually, I love watching politicians do politics, like give speeches. It's great because they go up there and they wiggle their thumbs and they're performers, you know? And we're performers, and they're worse. None of them could do this. If Joe Biden was here right now, he would fart and die. Like, he could, you know what I mean? This is a lot of pressure. At least it's fun to watch, though. Like, most politicians are boring as hell. They have the worst speeches. And here's the interesting thing, is that they have writers that are apparently the smartest people in the world. You know, there's these guys from Yale and Harvard writing their trash speeches. Like, Yale had nothing to do with this set right now. You know what I mean?
There we go.
Yeah. They write this trash, and it's not even original, right? Like every politician has the same line. They all go, it doesn't matter your race or religion, your color or creed. Who has a creed? Like, who has had a creed since, like, 1520? Nobody. And yet every politician's like, I gotta hit every demographic. Gay people, Latinos, Knights Templar, Franciscan monks, everybody. Like, there are more members of the band Creed than Americans who live by a creed. All right, that's it. Thank you very much. That's my set. Thank you.
Thank you, Ismael. Reese, let's see what you're doing. Relationships. Ooh, this is gonna be interesting.
I'm in a relationship. We first bonded over our shared creed. In a long-term relationship. People don't believe it. Been together with my girlfriend for 9 years. Long time, innit, for a relationship, 9 years. Yeah, you got to keep it fresh. You got to keep it exciting. Keep that spark alive. Keep the spice going. You know, we're trying to do new things, excite each other. Like, she keeps talking about how she wants to try having sex outside of the relationship. Oh, can I watch? Will he be tall? Don't worry about it. Anyway, I'm reading all these articles about steps you can take to keep that spark going. You know, I saw this article recently, right? It said couples who schedule sex have better sex. No. Couples who schedule sex are available to take a survey. That is all you found out, I'm afraid. That's all your research has revealed. But she's good, my girlfriend. I like her a lot. I suppose ultimately I love her. But she does have her quirks and her tics that annoy me, like she pronounces it espresso instead of expression. She's weird. We took the next step in our relationship recently. I'm joking. I'm still not letting her do that. Still, keep it in the back pocket in case I can't think of a Christmas present one year. Some people prefer the experience gifts, don't they? Anyway.
Called If You Catch My Drift. Oh, okay. I'll give an everyday location, and our performers have to suggest perfectly innocent things you might say that suddenly sound naughty if you add the words, if you catch my drift. So, comedians, your scenario is a shoe store. Oh, no.
Oh, my foot isn't the only thing that arches, if you catch my drift.
Laces are nice, but I prefer a strap.
I can't wait to stretch these out, if you catch my drift.
I'm looking for something I can shove my whole foot into.
Sorry, but if anyone actually said that at a shoe store, I'd think they were fully insane.
I've been kicked out of a lot of Foot Lockers.
I just need a couple of pumps, if you catch my drift.
I love cruising around in vans, if you catch my drift.
Mustache. She gave me a red bottom, if you catch my drift.
I'll tell you, I'd like to slide into something smelly.
What?
If you catch my drift.
So you want used shoes?
No.
Oh, when I was little, they actually had to tape my toes apart because I like to spread. I mean, if you catch my drift.
No, never mind. I'm not looking for anything brown. If you catch my drift.
Wow.
He's lying.
He's definitely lying.
He's lying.
Oh, he's lying.
If I'm going to get in there, you're going to have to give me the horn, if you catch my drift.
All right. I'm giving the round to Matthew, Mark, and Ismael. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke Off right after this. all about the jokes. Now we come to a game called Set Me Up. This is not the dating portion of the show, which they told me backstage. The way this works is that I reveal a punchline from an old joke, and the comedians have to come up with as many possible new setup lines for it as they can. So, here we go. Your punchline is... because they're dead. Let's hear what the setup might be for this.
Oh, this is why the neighborhood kids won't pet my cats anymore.
How come the audience from the last show isn't here?
How come there's fewer and fewer anti-vaxxers?
Why do a lot of my ex-boyfriends have no idea that I'm a comedian?
How did I really ruin The Sixth Sense?
Matthew?
Why is Schrodinger's cat still alive?
That's a smart joke. That's smart. That's gonna make people Google this.
Why doesn't Joe Biden ever see his friends anymore?
Why are zombies always so pissed off?
How come you've never met anybody who's ridden in a self-driving car?
Why can I not enjoy the audience laughter from a 70s sitcom?
Also, 90s porn.
There's laughter in 90s porn?
No, just enjoying 90s.
There are gags.
How do I know my grandparents are too old for surprise parties?
All right, the real answer, of course, is why don't dinosaurs talk? Because they're dead. Hilarious. All right, I'm gonna give that round to Reese. So Luke, Reese, and Chanel win that round. The next game is called Sex with Me. And so you all need to go to your zones of innuendo. You're going to be competing to come up with the funniest innuendos based on the phrase, sex with me is like. So, comedians, let's see what you're comparing your sex to. Okay, so that sex with me is like sports. Let's go.
Sex with me is like sports. We're both definitely gonna catch something.
Sex with me is like sports. I'm a sub.
Sex with me is like sports. I mostly practice by myself.
Sex with me is like sports. I'm always watching and losing tons of money.
Sex with me is like sports. Your husband's gonna yell at me a lot.
Sex with me is like sports. It comes down to just a couple of inches.
Sex with me is like sports. It's only exciting for the last few seconds.
Sex with me is like sports. You'll feel pressured to compete, but don't worry, everybody gets a trophy.
Sex with me is like sports. If you hear a whistle, something went wrong.
Sex with me is like sports. I'm always saying the phrase, "Coach, put me in."
Sex with me is like sports. It's best when multiple men are involved.
Sex with me is like sports. I like to change ends at halftime.
Sex with me is like sports. You're liable to get some balls thrown in your face.
The winners of that round were Matthew, Mark, and Ismael. Come on back. Hey, don't move. I'm about to tell you who won tonight's show right after these messages. Stay tuned. That's the end of the show, and in my opinion, the winners of the Great American Joke Off are Luke Moniz, Chanel Ali, and Reese James. Congratulations to you. And hard luck to Ismael Lucy, Mark Norman, and Matthew Basard. See you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye. Hello, friends. You are watching The Great American Joke-Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Joe List, Luke Moniz, Rebecca O'Neill, Reese James, Glenn Moore, Josh Johnson, and I'm Dulce Cone. Let the joking begin. Welcome to The Great American Joke-Off, the show that's just about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a variety of styles, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest. So start kissing up now. So we've got lots of great games for y'all, so let's get started with one we call If You Catch My Drift. I'll give an everyday location, and our performers have to suggest perfectly innocent things you might say there that suddenly sound naughty if you add the words, if you catch my drift. So, comedians, your scenario is an auto repair shop. Go.
I want you to give it a kick and say, that needs inflating, if you catch my drift.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm useless, and we need to get a real man in here that knows what he's doing, if you catch my drift.
She was born with flat tires, if you catch my drift.
You must drive a Prius, because I didn't hear you coming, if you catch my drift.
You know, usually I only choose Japanese models, if you catch my drift.
I'm having a little fluid leak, if you catch my drift.
I can tell that you've been rear-ended a bunch, if you catch my drift.
Could you inspect my headlights if you catch my drift?
Everyone says there's a problem with my shaft, if you catch my drift.
You know, in Europe, we'd be doing this the other way around, if you catch my drift.
Well, that's oil, but it's not from a motor, if you catch my drift.
I've been driving this thing fast and furious, if you catch my Tokyo drift.
Gonna need to lube it up a lot, if you catch my drift. Like lube it up, if you catch my drift.
I'm breaking up with you.
I want to have sex in this car, if you catch my drift.
No, please go.
Do it.
I wanted to see you, because I've just had a breakdown in the middle of the road, if you catch my drift.
Was it worth it?
No.
We should have stopped one earlier, if you catch my drift.
Well, as someone who used to date a mechanic, this was all very traumatizing. What a flashback. What an awful man. Hey, man, sometimes you gotta sleep with somebody to get an oil change. What you gonna do? Oh, like you wouldn't do it. Shut up. All right, so I think, both teams won. I can't do it. Now let's play a game called You Know What Annoys Me. This is a chance for our performers to use this platform to sound off about the everyday things that really get on their last nerve. So, who's gonna start us off?
Oh, right, do you know what annoys me? Is when there's a huge line in front of you at the auto repair shop of people just saying how they want to have sex with a mechanic.
You are stupid.
You know what annoys me? Why do they celebrate Christmas in the Harry Potter movies? Wouldn't Jesus just be a normal guy there? Oh, 40 minutes. 40 minutes in every movie. It's Christmas. Can you imagine if Jesus showed up at Hogwarts? They'd be like, oh, what do you do, man? I turn water into wine. Cool, so does everyone who works in the back. Put on an apron.
what annoys me is when you go to the dentist shows you the x-ray as though you've ever read an x-ray at any point in your life. He's like, take a look. I'm like, that looks like a tooth. I don't know, you just tell me what it is. I don't want to look. Yeah.
You know what annoys me is my grandma. She's always banging on about how it was so much better in her day. It's all she ever says. Oh, things were better in my day, Reece. All she ever says. It's just like, it's not true, but do you not find it rude to brag to me about a time I'll never get to experience because I wasn't alive? But I don't go and visit her, look at her 92-year-old face and go, the future is going to be amazing. Because it probably isn't.
You know what annoys me is like when you use a public toilet and the stall door doesn't fit perfectly. The other day I was in there and a 5-year-old kid just walked and looked right at me with space on either side, and then he yelled, Dad. And I'm like, does he think I'm his dad or does he want his dad to see me in here?
You know what annoys me is when people just accuse you of stuff. My girlfriend asked me a couple of weeks ago, she went, are you over the drink-drive limit? And I was like, OK, you know what? If we're counting one shot of whiskey as over the drink-drive limit, then fine, OK? I'm 11 times over the drink-drive limit. Don't do this to me.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What is it called?
Drunk driving.
Actually, in America, if they're watching you say drink driving, they think you're drunk now.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
Yeah. Like, drink driving to me just means, like, I have a beverage in a car.
Yeah.
Because, like, no one drinks a bunch of water and is like, like, if that is a drink.
You know what annoys me is if you're gonna tax me, if any country is gonna tax me, just tell me how much I owe. Because I owe whatever you say I owe. I can't send you a letter like, no, I owe whatever you say I owe. But then you have to do your taxes yourself. You gave me homework to send you money, and then if I get it wrong, I go to jail. Like, imagine going to a restaurant and then eating, and then your server comes up and is like, how much do you think it costs? And by the way, if you get it wrong, there's an officer waiting outside. Best of luck.
Do you know what annoys me? I can't watch Netflix anymore because my ex-girlfriend's brother hasn't paid a subscription. And it's like, just sort your life out, man.
All right, that's great. Thank you. Everyone made me laugh, but I want to give the round to Josh Johnson because he is my favorite human. Don't go away. We'll be back with more of the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now we play a game called Get Up There. 2 people are going to do some stand-up, and I'll decide the winner. So let's see which 2 people that's gonna be. Ooh, okay, Luke and Joe. Okay, Luke, you're going first, so let's see what your subject is. Okay, conspiracy theories. All right, off you go.
All right, I'm too tall to do comedy. Every time I talk into a microphone and it's in the stand, it just looks like I'm making an announcement. A lot of conspiracies going around right now. My neighbor is a flat earther. Any flat earthers here? Okay, good. I was talking to him, he's like, yeah, Luke, I think the earth is flat. Sorry if that's not politically correct. And I was like, no, that's just regular incorrect, right? You can't just say a crazy conspiracy like, I don't think Ohio's real. Sorry if that offends you. Yeah, the sun's a big light bulb created by the CIA. Are you triggered, lib? You know? It's been a rough couple of years for all of us. I think you can tell how tough of a time it's been for our world by how popular alcoholic seltzer has become. It wasn't like this before. I think we just reached a low point as a society where everyone got together and was like, I don't care anymore. Put vodka in the water. I want to drink bubbly Listerine. For God's sake, put heroin in my Cobb salad. Leave me alone. I think I'm getting dumber every day. Does anyone else feel that way about me right now? I keep getting these scam calls every day, you know, but I pick up every time because they kind of look like my number, you know? I always answer like, well, maybe I'm calling me. Thank you very much.
Joe, let's see what you're doing. Okay, Joe, your subject is exercise. Take it away.
Great, thank you. Well, obviously, I do a lot of exercise. My favorite way to exercise, I've been doing mixed martial arts, MMA. I don't know if anyone's doing that, but I could beat the hell out of everybody in here if I wanted to. I like MMA because, first of all, I went there because I wanted to learn, like, self-defense. I actually learned I'm attracted to men, and that's a cool thing to learn also. My friend was like, you should do mixed martial arts. Find out what you're capable of. I am capable of maintaining an erection while a guy strangles me from behind. That's a good thing to know about yourself, you know? How else would I have known that? I thought it was gonna be hand-to-hand combat. It's genital to butt choking. I want to be tough, though. That's why I like doing MMA, because I want to be a tough guy, but I'm not tough. And I know I don't look tough, because my first day at MMA, we went over striking. That's like punching and kicking. And my instructor said, when you throw a punch, you want to turn your wrist like you're pouring tea. And I was like, I feel like you don't say that to everybody. Somehow, I'm pretty sure he just looked at me and was like, you've probably poured tea? Is that something you've done? And I was like, are you kidding? That's my favorite beverage. My first punch was terrible. I had my pinky out and my elbow flared. You can quit anytime you want. You tap the other person and they have to stop. They win, but you don't die. Sort of a win-win. I think we should have that socially, you know? You're at like a party or a bar, someone's telling you a crappy story, and you're like, you know what? I think I'm done with this, actually. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I think Joe was my favorite, so his team wins the points this round. All right, both of y'all come and sit back down. Now we play a game called Jokeboard. This is where we create up-to-date versions of joke styles such as waiter, waiter, life hacks, or something walks into a bar. Okay, let's see what y'all's style is gonna be. Oh, fun facts. All right, y'all, let's hear them.
Fun fact, blood sausage is actually vampire poop. Yeah.
Fun fact, knees are just elbows for your legs.
Fun fact, if you stand at the front of a restaurant wearing a motorcycle helmet, you get so much free food.
That's just theft.
You know what annoys me? When you say a joke from the wrong round by mistake.
Fun fact, in Australia, the toilet water is not drinkable.
Fun fact, trying to pop a pimple can actually lead to a broken nose if you don't ask the person first.
Fun fact, it's not considered shoplifting if you do it completely naked.
Fun fact, the highest point on Earth is the top of Mount Everest, and the lowest point is doing TikTok dances with your dad.
Fun fact, Bill Murray is still filming Groundhog Day.
Fun fact, the ancient Egyptians did not have a word for Doritos Locos Tacos.
Fun fact, if you stand in front of your mirror at night and say Ted Bundy 5 times, your dad comes in and goes, what are you doing?
Fun fact, when a group of men live together, their boners sync up. That one's mainly about prison, but,
Fun fact, if both of your parents are right-handed and you're left-handed, they don't love you.
Fun fact, if you pursue comedy as a career, your parents also don't love you.
My mama love me.
Damn it.
Fun fact, my grandma is an Elvis impersonator in the sense that she's not alive anymore.
Do you have any living grandparents?
Yeah. Grandpa's dead,
Not
too.
if I've got anything to do with it, no.
Fun fact, Glenn might be a murderer.
Fun fact, a slap is just using someone else's face to clap.
fun fact, it is impossible for a kangaroo to storm off.
Fun fact, before Sigourney Weaver, everyone just had to weave their own Sigourneys.
Talk, where it's all about the jokes. Now we come to a game called Ask Us Anything. This is where we throw ourselves open to the audience and invite them to ask us a question on any topic. Okay, do we have a Tanner here?
Hi, yes.
Hello, can we have your question, please?
Yes, do you have any dating tips?
I haven't used this personally, but what my cousin does is they shave 3 days before a date so that when the date arrives, they've got, like, the perfect amount of sexy stubble. And, like, I personally think that's weird, but you know what? They're her legs. She can do whatever she wants.
My advice is to double-check your texts when you're texting with your partner. One time I was hanging out with my wife's sister, and I wrote to my wife, "We're having a great time. She's a lot of fun. I wish you were her."
Also, don't let it be a surprise date. You know, ask where the date's gonna be. Is it the movies, you know? Is it the woods? It's important to know where the date's gonna be.
My dating advice is don't go on a date to the woods. Don't do that.
You were the demographic that they write documentaries about. Okay, thank you so much. All right, is there a Craig here? Craig?
Up here? I would like to know, what is the worst heckle you've ever had?
I once did a show, and it was a packed crowd, and I was doing really well, and then a man stood up in the middle of the show and said, "This guy's a nerd."
I did a show once where the guy was heckling me, and he said the first guy was funnier, but I was the first person. So I don't know who he met before the show.
I once had 2 people say, "You suck, and we're upset we raised you this poorly."
Well, thank you so much, Craig, for helping us relive traumatic experiences. You all were great, but I kind of feel sorry for Joe List, so I'll give his team the win. And now we come to a round we call Celebrity Pickup Lines. So, make your way over to the pickup area, please. The way this works is that I'm going to give you the names of some major celebrities, and I want you to suggest some pickup lines those celebrities might use. Let's see who the celebrity is. Ooh, Tom Hanks. All right, let me see what you got.
What's long, hard, and ready to ride? The Polar Express. Hop on.
I really love Toy Story. In fact, I have a Woody of my own.
I have a bunch of toys back at my place, and they all buzz.
Just call me Sully, because I'd love to perform a miracle on your wet surface.
Excuse me, but you're in a league of your own. Mamma Mia, he produced it. He produced it.
I saved Ryan's privates. How about yours?
I'd like to perform consistently well in your box office.
So, I don't know if you've seen Toy Story, but... Oh, Andy's back!
Let's try this famous name. Captain Kirk.
Set phasers to stunning!
I call my penis the universe because when I'm with you, it's constantly expanding.
I can show you where the G-Spock is.
You want to get beamed up to my studio apartment?
Hey, baby, you must have trained at Starfleet Academy, because right now I'm harder than the Kobayashi Maru test.
Hey! That is a deep cut reference.
I'll literally sleep with anything.
It's not small. I'm just using the cloaking device.
Hey, girl, are you a black hole at the center of the universe? Because I hear you swallow everything.
My name is James T. Kirk, and the T is for tantric.
If you know what I mean.
I'm very good at sex.
All right, at the end of that round, it's a tie, because it was too good. It was too good. Y'all come on, man. Hey, don't move. I'll be back to tell you who won tonight's show right after these messages. Stay tuned. That's the end of the show. And in my opinion, the winners of the Great American Joke-Off this week are Josh Johnson, Reese James, and Luke Moniz. Congratulations to you. And hard luck to Joe List, Rebecca O'Neill, and Glenn Moore. See you next time. Thank you all for watching. Bye. Hello, friends. You are watching The Great American Joke-Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Fahim Anwar, Moshe Kasher, Ed Gamble, Reese James, Natasha Leggero, Milton Jones, and I'm Dulce Sloan. Let the joking begin. Welcome to The Great American Joke-Off, the show that's just about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a variety of rounds, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest. So you can bribe me, you can find me a nice man to talk to. I really don't care. We've got lots of great games for you. Is everybody ready?
Ready.
Wonderful. Let's start with a game called What, Where, or Who. This is where we give our comedians something you might say in either a location in which to say it or person to say it to. So everyone, your what is weird things to hear, and your where is a cooking show. So tell me some weird things to hear on a cooking show. Take it away.
Well, if you don't have extra virgin olive oil, you can always try dirty, dirty slut olive oil.
I used to be one of those cooks who shouts and swears a lot, but then I discovered oven gloves.
I'm Gordon Ramsay, and all your dishes were wonderful.
Oh, that asparagus smells great. And it smelled even better yesterday when I cooked it.
This is a recipe passed down by my grandmother, and tasting it, I think she may have been in the early stages of dementia.
Coconut oil is an excellent choice, whether you're frying up a chicken or lubing up a stranger. I only have oil-based jokes, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, in America, they call these eggplants, but in the UK, we call them chickens.
Welcome to the UFC, where we're going to find the ultimate chef.
And I came up with this dish, meat surprise, on a trip to Thailand, where things aren't always as they seem.
And now, basil and rosemary go into the oven, here at the retirement home crematorium.
Say basil.
Have you noticed how vegans always look miserable in photographs? Probably because they resent saying the word cheese.
I'm now going to roast these carrots, you wonky orange bitches.
Wonky orange bitches.
I do feel that's quite a British insult.
For this recipe, you're gonna need a spoon, a belt, and an alley.
Welcome back, Paula Dean.
Well, listen, we're done. And thanks to wonky orange bitches, Ed Gamble is the winner of that.
Yes, yes.
know what annoys me? This is a chance for our performers to use this platform to sound off about the everyday things that really get on their last nerve. So, who's going to start us off?
You know what annoys me is people who use the phrase the human experience to talk about just like normal life. Just in case I thought you were talking from the perspective of a horse.
You know what annoys me? Virtue signalling white liberals and prejudice.
Oh, you know what annoys me? How everyone in Los Angeles is trying to make it. Like, you can walk up to any random person in Hollywood and be like, hey, I'm a big fan. And they'd be like, thank you.
You know what annoys me is play-by-play texting. It has gotten out of control. Like, you used to just, like, make a plan, you'd show up, they'd show up, everything was fine. Now it's like, okay, leaving the house now, okay, driving, okay, traffic, okay, well, that took longer than I thought, okay, parking, okay, I have to throw away a bottle, okay, do you know if there's recycling around here? Okay, walking towards you, okay, we're hugging. Enough.
See, what annoys me is no one turned up to the first meeting of my sarcasm club, despite loads of people saying how much they were looking forward to it.
Oh, I get it.
You know what annoys me is people who use the phrase just dropped. They say just dropped, like, oh, my new album just dropped, you know? And people say it about stuff that isn't albums. My friend the other day said it about his new baby.
You know what annoys me? When shopkeepers give you your change and they put the notes on and then they put the coins on top of the notes.
Yes!
These two things are not going to the same destination. They shouldn't be in the same hand. So now I've got to be a magician and sort of whip the note out as quickly as possible.
You know what annoys me is Christian rock music. Why? Why? Why would they think that that's music that would compel people to join their religion? If you play it backwards, you can actually hear God screaming, no! Not in my name! I mean, they used to have beautiful Christian music. There was Byzantine chanting, there was gospel music. Now it's just like, me and Jesus eat a sandwich! In the back of a pickup truck!
What really annoys me is that I used to live in an apartment with 3 girls, but one day they found out.
Wow, that is so sad.
You know what annoys me is when you have concrete plans with someone, it's been in the diary for months, you double, triple check, and not only do they not turn up, you still have to pay for the wedding.
You know what annoys me? People who aren't food-focused. Like people, you go over to their house and they say, oh, I think we've got some cookies, I'll just go and check. How do you not know the exact coordinates of every snack in your house at all times?
You know what annoys me is when I go to bed every night, Moshe is watching Star Trek. I am drying up at warp speed. I'm about to boldly go to a divorce attorney.
You know what annoys me? It's the guy at the airport who never takes his neck pillow off. He looks like a Star Wars senator the whole time.
You know what annoys me is people who say you should start your day with an ice-cold shower. It's everywhere now. People say you've got to do this Wim Hof method, start with an ice-cold shower. And the main reason they say it is because apparently it reduces stress. Oh, does it? Listen, you know what I find stressful? Breathless goose pimples and a fully retracted penis.
See what annoys me? I was in the park the other day watching an old man feed the birds. And after a while, I thought to myself, I wonder how long he's been dead.
The winner of that round is Natasha Leggero for this wonderful cream soup. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the joke. Now we play a game called Get Up There. 2 people are gonna do stand-up, and I'll decide the winner. So let's see which 2 people that's gonna be. Milton and Fahim. All right, so you 2 both get up to the stand-up area. And Fahim, you're going first, so let's see what your subject is. Showbiz. Off you go.
Okay. So, I'm a stand-up comedian, but I also act. I'll audition for things in LA. and it's not going very well. I'm getting a lot of one and dones. You know, they'll be like, that was great, thanks for coming in. I'm like, really, it didn't feel great. She's like, no, it's so good. Like, their face gets more contorted the more they're lying to you. Like, no, it's so good. You crushed it, please leave, I can't keep this up. I did this one audition for a kids show. It was going out for the role of this hip-hop dance instructor. And so the first part of the audition, there was 2 parts of it. The first part was lines and scenes, and then the second part, they wanted to know you could dance. So I finished the first part, and then the guy looks up at me and he goes, now dance for us. Like, the only way it would have been more belittling is if he bit into a peach. Dance for us. So I was dancing, and there was no music, there was no boombox. Like, they wanted to make it as sad as possible. So I'm just dancing in utter silence. Like, all you could literally hear was the rustling of my clothes. And some of you don't know this about me, but I used to be an aerospace engineer, and there was a moment during the audition where I was like, you used to build airplanes. And she was like, that was great, thanks for coming in. Yeah.
Thank you, Fahim. Milton, let's see what you're doing. Okay, Milton, your subject is travel. Take it away.
Been doing some traveling recently. Didn't think much of the film on the plane coming back from Australia. Turned out to be a 24-hour animation of a plane traveling from Sydney to London. Whatever you do, don't go and see Time to Destination. All the way across on the plane, my wife was going, why don't you get an upgrade? Why don't you get an upgrade? Took a bit of time, but in the end, I got a better wife. In America, I really got into the culture. I went into a shop and the guy said, have a nice day, and I didn't, so I sued him. Went up to this girl, I said, what's your name? She said, Chantel. I said, well, if you're not going to tell me your name... Turns out the residents of Paris aren't actually called parasites.
It's now time for a game called If You Catch My Drift. I'll give an everyday location, and our performers have to suggest perfectly innocent things you might say that suddenly sound naughty if you add the words, if you catch my drift. So, comedians, your scenario is... a bakery! Who's going to start us off?
Those tarts look past their best, if you catch my drift.
Sorry, it hasn't risen like I thought it would, if you catch my drift.
I've heard that too many times, friend.
I went to fill her cakes with cream, but it was already filled with chocolate, if you catch my drift. You guys caught my drift a little too much.
Listen, don't worry, I've lightly greased the rim, if you catch my drift.
Let's put some nuts on top of those muffins, if you catch my drift.
I've got a wet, spongy center, if you catch my drift.
I wouldn't peel the buns apart. It's completely raw in the middle, if you catch my drift.
Okay, I beat that a little longer than I should have, if you catch my drift.
In Britain, we say jam, but as this is America, I'll say jelly.
We also have jam.
Yeah. I'll do the American version first.
Okay.
I'm gonna jelly my into these donuts.
You don't understand, the edit for this show is going to be 1.5 minutes long.
You know, this show goes out on a Sunday morning.
If I whip it out now, you're going to have a very soggy bottom, if you catch my drift.
I'd like mine to be Italian bread, if focaccia my drift.
Bingo. Reese, that was so funny. What is focaccia?
Oh, God. OK, in England we say jam.
It's bread, right?
Yeah, it's Italian pinchy bread.
It's that oily-ass bread.
It's an oily-ass bread.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. You've got an oily ass, if you catch my drift.
Thank you. All right. The winner of that round is Reese James because I just like the way he operates. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. It's time now for a game called You Think That's Bad? This is where our performers compete to outdo each other with tales of woe from their lives, which could be from childhood, relationships, lifestyle, whatever, and I decide who's got the worst life. Okay, who wants to start? Make me say it.
You think that's bad? I joined an arm wrestling league just so I could hold somebody's hand.
You think that's bad? My husband, Moshe Kasher, is so obsessed with going to Burning Man every year. I've had to go 3 times. People at Burning Man are so dirty, it looks like they've arrived by chimney.
In England, we call it Birmingham.
You think that's bad? The other day I walked in on my housemate masturbating, and he was like, Reese, this is disgusting. Do this in your own room. Why are you walking around? Lie down like the rest of us.
You think that's bad? I come from a family of failed magicians. I've got 2 half-sisters.
You think that's bad? I live in Koreatown. I feel like you're not doing well when you live in another ethnic group's town.
You think that's bad? I did a marathon once, and I had a bottle of Gatorade for energy in one hand and a bottle of water in the other hand. And I got really hot about halfway through the marathon, so I thought I'll cover myself in water. I got mixed up, covered myself in Gatorade, and I was so sticky I was chased by 1 bee for 10 miles.
You think that's bad? I live in a windmill. And to be honest, golf balls keep coming through the front door.
You think that's bad? I had sex with a dirty aristocrat. She didn't give me crabs, she gave me lobsters.
You think that's... rich bitch.
Honey, that's not true, right?
Honey, you're the only dirty aristocrat in my life.
You think that's bad? The other day after a show, someone came up to me and said, you know, I don't normally find female comedians funny, but that was great.
You think that's bad? I once accidentally called my teacher Daddy, but it did really improve the sex.
You think that's bad? I got home from work the other day and my wife was wearing this slinky number, which only really worked when she went downstairs.
You think that's bad? I once got dumped by a woman who worked at a suicide hotline because she said talking to me made her too depressed.
But we got back together.
All right. At the end of that game, the winners are Moshe Kasher, Reese James, and Milton Jones. And now we come to a round we call Celebrity Pickup Lines. So make your way over to your pickup area. The way this works is that I'm going to give you the names of some famous figures, and I want you to come up with pickup lines those people might use. Let's try this suggestion. Superheroes. All right, show me what you got.
Hey, girl, are you Avengers Endgame? Because you've got the biggest opening since records began.
Look, you're not a 10, but you are a fantastic 4.
Once you go Black Panther, you never go back Panther.
Why have sex with a teenager or a Ninja Turtle when it could be both?
They call me Wi-Fi man because I'm not strong in the bedroom and I go down on you during Zoom meetings.
Are you Thor? Well, you will be after some sex.
I am Electric Ian. Okay, electrician.
Black Widow. I know, I'm neither of those things.
I call my penis Christopher Nolan's Batman because it's really long and has a weird twist at the end.
With great power comes great ability.
I am Magic Ian.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's my...
I am Librarian.
Let's stop there! Because it's a tie! Everyone come on back! Hey, don't move. I'll be back to tell you who won tonight's show right after these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back. That's the end of the show. And in my opinion, the winners of the Great American Joke Off this week are Fahim Anwar, Ed Gamble, and Natasha Leggero. So congratulations to you. Never mind to Milton Jones, Reese James, and Moshe Kasher. See you next time. Thank you all for watching. Bye! Hello, friends. You are watching The Great American Joke Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Joe List, Mark Norman, Chanel Ali, Reese James, Glenn Moore, Ismael Lutfi, and I'm Dulce Sloan. Let the joking begin. Welcome to The Great American Joke Off, the show that's just about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a variety of styles, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest, so start sucking up now. We've got lots of great games for y'all, so let's get started with the game we call Categories. This is pretty simple. I give out a category and ask the comedians to create as many jokes as they can on that subject. It's as easy as that. So the category is family. Give me some family jokes.
I find it unfair that parents are allowed to introduce themselves by saying stuff like, oh, mother to an amazing son, father to 2 amazing daughters, but people find it weird when I call myself a nephew to 3 gorgeous uncles.
My uncle's an alcoholic. Yeah, he's obsessed with breweries. He's like, we gotta go to a brewery. I'm like, why? He's like, well, you get to see how it's made. I'm like, I don't know. I like strip clubs. I don't need to go to a broken home.
When I was growing up, my mum always used to tell me, if you masturbate too much, you go blind. It's quite a weird thing to say to a kid. But then, like, 1 week ago, she asked me to drive her to get laser eye surgery.
I have a 5-year-old nephew, and the other day we were talking, and he asked me why my teeth are all yellow. I know. I told him it's because Santa Claus isn't real.
I don't have a good relationship with my dad, and I remember one time he called me, and that's the end of that
joke. My grandma died recently, actually, and we scattered my nan's ashes at sea so she could be remembered for doing what she loved, choking dolphins.
Y'all are going to jail.
I was actually choking my dolphin backstage.
Careful, you don't want to go blind.
A couple of years ago, I was in the garden scattering my grandfather's remains, which was horrible because he hadn't been cremated.
In America, we love La Familia and hate people who call it La Familia.
I read read an article that said sometimes if a baby is crying, it could be as little a thing as they just have an itch, but they don't know how to itch it. So anytime my sister's baby cries, I just scratch it all over her.
I have a stepdad, or fake dad, or faux pas, and.
Shut up. Shut up. Like Americans know what a faux pas is. Don't do that. Did he mean a mistake? Yes, that's what he meant.
My dad was a functioning alcoholic, and he got called into work, and they said, "You're a high-functioning alcoholic." And he said, "How'd they know I was also high?"
I recently went to a family reunion for a friend of mine in Alabama, or as they call it, speed dating.
I had a big argument with my mum a few years ago where I came into the kitchen, she was writing something down, and I said, "What are you writing?" And she said, "I'm writing a bucket list." And I said, "What's a bucket list?" And she said, "Oh, a bucket list is like a to-do list, but it's different in the sense of it's a to-do list of things that you need to do before you die." And I said, "There is no other kind of to-do list." And she got really angry, and she said, "Don't be cheeky." And I said, "You look like an old bitch," and we quarrelled, and it was, yeah.
Calling your mama a bitch and you live to tell the story? Wow. That's white privilege. All right, y'all. At the end of that round, it's gonna go to Mark, Reese, and Ismael. Mainly because Glenn is disrespectful to his mama. Now, let's play a game called In the Picture. I'll show the teams an image, and our comedians suggest captions. So, let's take a look at this image. What's going on here?
Oh, man, as a kid, I hated the Soviet version of Big Bird.
Is that guy going, just once I'd like to introduce you both to a new girlfriend without Mum overreacting.
This is the angriest sex robot I ever bought.
Oh, on the left, it's the guy who's always in front of me at the airport metal detector.
That feeling when you overdress for a baby shower.
Boy, the original RoboCop sucked.
It really did. I would let you go if I only had a heart.
All right, thank you all. Let's see an image from an old comic book. What are they saying?
Oh, is this Benjamin Button watching his parents shag?
If you think he's creepy now, wait till you see his rat tail.
I think the man is saying, "I want you to sit on my face tonight." And the girl is saying, "I can't wait to sit on your face tonight." And the old guy is saying, "In my day, we used our face for racism."
The last couple caught me watching them, they poked my eye out.
Is the woman saying, "I've always dreamed of us having a threesome with an elderly bank teller from a Western"?
Is the guy going, "You can see that too, right? That weird couple kissing behind me?"
This is a hashtag me82.
Well, thanks for watching. Join us next week when I chop these two youngsters up.
If they want to stop young people from watching porn, they should just get this guy coming up as a pop-up. Like, every time you watch a video, just eat...
That would help me.
Yeah. Like the paperclip on Word, but it's just an old man going, "I see you're having some trouble wanking."
Okay, that's enough. I'm giving the round to Mark, Reese, and Ismael. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke-Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke-Off, where it's all about the jokes. It's time now for a game called If You Catch My Drift. I'll give an everyday location, and our performers have to suggest perfectly innocent things you might say that suddenly sound naughty if you add the words, "if you catch my drift." So, comedians, your scenario is... a restaurant! Okay, give me naughty, go.
Stop playing with it and put it in your mouth, if you catch my drift.
I honestly don't have room for anything else, if you catch my drift.
Indian just wrecks my insides. If you catch my drift.
My nuts are very salty, if you catch my drift.
I think you're gonna like the tip, if you catch my drift.
The lie of all lies.
If you're willing to wait, I'm sure a seat will open right up if you catch my drift.
Hold the pork, if you catch my drift.
Sorry, I'm always the last one to finish. If you catch my drift.
Don't mind at all.
I'm afraid I've got chowder all over my jeans, if you catch my drift.
My tip is about 40%, if you catch my drift.
I heard your cake is very moist, if you catch my drift.
Okay, let's stop there. Hard to choose a winner, but I feel like I should do Mark Norman a favor, so let's give his team the point. Now let's play a game called You Know What Annoys Me? This is a chance for our performers to use this platform to sound off about the everyday things that really get on their last nerve. So, who's going to start us off?
Do you know what annoys me? Is when people say, oh, don't use a condom because it feels so much better without. This heroin is hurting my stomach. So much.
You know what annoys me is hypocrisy, you know. How come when a woman says she slept with loads of people, she gets called a slut? But when I say that, I get called a liar.
You know what annoys me is people are always so afraid to date a comedian. Like, they think I'm gonna make fun of them if we have whack sex. Like, whack sex is funny to me.
Yeah, date us. We're nice ladies. Don't be trash and we won't talk about you for money. Mark?
Sorry.
I see how that looks. That's not what that was.
One time.
It was one night. It was years ago.
Yes, cake was very moist.
Yes. I mean, thank you. Thank you. But the tip was 40%.
Soft tip. You know what annoys me? When you see a gay guy, because I'm like, must be nice to just know you're gay and not have to wonder about it every day.
Did you just come out on the show?
You know what annoys me? Why'd they call it Death on the Nile and not Murder, She Boat?
No.
You know what annoys me? Homophobes. I knew this kid in high school, extremely homophobic, always talking about gay people, hit him so much. And now, 12 years later, anyone want to guess what this kid is?
A drag queen.
A Florida congressman. Very good. You're right.
You know what annoys me? When a guy next to me on the plane wants to talk because we're sitting too close together. We're literally talking from this distance. I'm like, I could kiss you without using a neck muscle right now.
You know what annoys me is when people say, you know who you remind me of? Because that basically means, I'm going to insult you now. No one ever's like, you know who you remind me of, Reese? Leonardo DiCaprio. But it was like, you know who you remind me of? The ghost of a Victorian girl who appeared at my bed because I didn't forward an email in 2001 to 15 friends.
You know what annoys me is when hot people give unattractive people advice. Hot people are always like, you need more confidence. And I'm like, no, I need your face.
You know what annoys me is when my dishwasher hasn't finished its cycle and I have to use the fork that I hate the most.
Because it's a sport?
There's nothing worse than using a fork you don't like on a prestige meal.
I've never heard a Hot Pocket described like that.
If you catch my drift.
But this is the Great American Joke Off, so I want an American to win that round. Points to Joe List. Stay with us. We'll be back with more of the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. It's time now for a game called Hard to Sell. This game is a chance for our performers to think of names for products or items that would make them incredibly hard to sell. So let's see what you have that would be hard to sell. Fragrances! Okay, tell me some names of fragrances that would make them hard to sell.
Elon's Musk.
Formaldehyde Fresh by Morgue.
Will Smith's aftershave. He slaps it on for you.
Christian Dior?
Christian diaper?
Is Christian Dior somebody?
Christian Dior is a thing.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Diaper.
Like
Diaper?
like diaper.
Yeah, like diaper, but French.
Versace's Discharge.
Unforgettable, the new fragrance by Joe Biden.
Do your parents know you smell like this?
Unforgettable, the new fragrance by Joe Biden.
My Underwear by Chipotle. All right, I'm on the board.
Christian Dior's clothes you were wearing while cooking salmon.
I really think Christian Dior was pretty good.
I decided that the best players of that game was Joe List, because he tried. So I'm gonna give it to this team. Now we come to a round we call Ask Us Anything. This is where we throw ourselves open to the audience and invite them to ask us a question on any topic. First up, is there a Lucius here? Hello, friend. Yes.
Oh,
Do you
good.
have a question for us?
So my question is, what is the worst gig you've ever done?
About 2 years ago, I did a really sick gig in Wuhan.
I'm breaking up with you.
Say the worst I ever did was about 3 years ago, and I hit my head as I was walking onto the stage. And so I went on stage really, really concussed. But I couldn't stand properly, and there was blood pouring from the top of my forehead down my eyes, and I was swaying from side to side. And it's the closest I've ever felt to being in the beginning of a James Bond film, you know, when he shoots the camera?
I did a gig in Savannah, Georgia, and it's hard to tell racist jokes to actual racists. They don't laugh, they just nod. They're like, that's a solid point.
I know what you mean. I had a gig right on the stairs of the Capitol. Tough.
All right, thank you so much, Lucius. Okay, is there a Daniel here? Ooh, wonderful. Hello, friend.
Hello.
Daniel, what is your question?
What's the stupidest thing you've ever heard someone say?
Oh.
I had a poor man ask me to marry him.
The other day, I saw someone call an ATM a tight bastard.
I had a friend say he came up with an idea for an invention, a refrigerator with a see-through door. And I said, every supermarket ever has had that.
I was once in Scotland, and I was just putting the key into my front door where I was staying, and this guy came up behind me, and he went, "Guess what?" like that. And then I turned around, and then he went, "Are you selling any weed?" And I was like, it's not an unreasonable question, but how the hell does "guess what" apply here?
It got you to turn around.
It worked, yeah, and then I sold him some weed.
I told a guy I was having trouble sleeping, and then he responded, "Oh, you gotta sleep." I said, "No, I know, I'm not quitting sleeping."
Okay, thank you, Daniel, so much. I think it's a tie. I can't call a winner on that one. What do y'all think? Now let's keep going with the round called Celebrity Pickup Lines. So make your way over to the pickup area. The way this works is I'm gonna give you the name of some major celebrities, and I want you to suggest some pickup lines those celebrities might use. Ready? Let's see who the celebrity is. Arnold Schwarzenegger. All right, let me see what you got.
My favorite sexual position is called the horse costume. You be front. I'll be back.
Live with me if you want to.
Hey, I've got handcuffs. We can play good cop, kindergarten cop.
Let's sit under the Christmas tree, I promise, to make you jingle all the way.
Are you the state of California? Because I'd like to dominate you for 10 years.
It won't hurt. I only have a Terminator 2-inch penis.
Don't worry. I've got a brand of Plan B pills called Total Recall.
All right, let's stop there. Okay, let's try this famous name. Steven Spielberg.
A lot of guys around here are too subtle, but I'm a little director.
They call my bedroom the terminal because I trapped Tom Hanks in it.
We're gonna need a bigger penis.
Did you see Jaws? Well, I directed it. That movie's so good. It's unbelievable.
Charming, sexy, beautiful. That's Schindler's List if he wrote it about you.
I mean, Jaws, all three main characters turn in the best performances of their career. I directed it.
I'm a BFG, a big friendly gay.
Oh. Do you want me to go quicker?
E.T. Bone Home.
If you don't go out with me, my balls will turn the color purple.
So E.T.? No, I said E.D. I've got erectile dysfunction.
I managed to make Richard Dreyfuss likable.
All right, that's it. Well done to Mark Reeves and Ismail. They really best that round. Come on back. Find out who won this week's Great American Joke Off after this short break. Don't move. That's the end of the show, and in my opinion, the winners of the Great American Joke Off this week are Ismail Luki, Reese James, and Mark Norman. Congratulations to you. Hard luck to Joe Lish, Chanel Ali, and Glenn Moore. See you next time. Thank you all for watching. Bye. Hello, friends. You're watching the Great American Joke Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Luke Moniz, Matthew Bassard, Chanel Ali, Mark Norman, Reese James, Ismail Lufi, and I'm Dulce Sloan. Let the joking begin. Welcome to the Great American Joke Off, the show that's all about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a variety of styles, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest. So start sucking up now. Yeah. We've got lots of great games for y'all, so let's get started with the game we call You Think That's Bad? This is where our performers compete to outdo each other with tales of woe from their lives, which could be their childhood, relationships, lifestyle, whatever. And I decide who's got the worst life. Okay, who wants to start?
My girlfriend's pushing marriage pretty hard, and I'm getting older, so I think I'm gonna pull the trigger and kill myself.
You think that's bad? I've never had a drink of alcohol in my life, ever. Yeah, because I'm Muslim, and Muslims, we believe that alcohol makes people act irrationally, so we don't drink it, which explains why Muslims never act irrationally.
That joke could get us in trouble at all.
I'm Muslim. I can say it.
I actually also, weirdly, have never had a drink of alcohol in my life because I'm 11.
You think that's bad? I was a smart baby. I could talk when I was 6 months old, but I couldn't walk until I was 2 years old. So there was a year and a half of my life where I was just posted up against a wall, like, oh no. I can't move. Can I just get a cup of coffee? That'd be great. Thank you so much. You know how unsettling it is to walk into a room and see an infant upright in a bassinet, like, hi, how are you? How's it going? Nice weather. We're just breastfeeding, like, can't seem to quit this stuff.
I think that's bad. I went on a Black Lives Matter march last year, and there was a moment during the march where everyone decided to silently take the knee. And let me tell you, as a white man, that is maybe the worst time possible to get cramp.
You think that's bad? I couldn't find the BLM march, and I asked a cop, which I think might be the whitest thing I've ever done.
I think that's bad. I tried doing improv comedy once, and my friend who was in the crowd said, that was like watching my dad get beat up.
You think that's bad? I went on a blind date with a man who had the biggest butt I've ever seen. As soon as he walked in, I was like, well, all three of us are in a relationship.
You think that's bad? My current wife is super, super jealous. Like, before I left to do this show, she was like, hey, you better not talk to any dumb bimbos after your show, which is weird, because that's how we met, you know? Respect your heritage, that's all I'm saying.
You think that's bad? No one trusts me because I look like the villain in an 80s movie, right? It's hard. It's hard to feel bad for a guy with resting rich face. Yes.
You think that's bad? I just called my wife my current wife on national television.
You think that's bad? My vegan friend is very sensitive. I'm walking on eggshells around this guy. He really hates that.
I think that's bad. One time I was with my girlfriend in bed and I was about to euphemism her metaphor and in the heat of the moment, I used the word vulva. And she was like, ugh, can't you just say vagina? I was like, well, no, I'm referring to the exterior parts. The vagina only refers to the canal portion. She was like, just stop saying that word. And I was like, no, that's like calling your face your throat.
They're still together.
Not after that. You think that's bad? I just learned what the vulva is.
Vulva. You look like you drive one.
All right, you were all amazing, but I'm giving that to Matthew Broussard just because of his bone structure. Now let's play a game called What, Where, or Who. This is where we give our comedians something you might say in either a location in which to say it or person to say it to. So everyone, your what is weird things to say, and your where is in a medical examination.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
So let's hear some weird things to say in a medical examination.
Are you a smoker? Awesome, can I bum one?
I'd like to sign up for Viagra, please. Looks like you don't need it.
We will need another urine sample. I already finished the first one.
Okay, and if you don't mind, I'm just going to pop my index finger into your rectum. Okay, well, how do you propose we kill time till the doctor can see us?
Do you have a sore throat? Do you want one?
Yes, I do.
I'm afraid you're going to inherit your father's low-functioning pancreas. To be honest, he's written the weirdest will I've ever seen in my life.
Your son, he didn't make it. He's a failure in life. He's on a comedy panel show right now.
Hey!
Wow. Baby number 3 really did a number on you.
Ah, I see the confusion. When I said you were going to be cured, I meant in the Italian meat sense.
Oh, doctor, I don't know what's going on. I keep getting like sweaty palms, and then all of a sudden I'm on the phone with my ex. Is there any way that you're single? Or...
I have the results of your Are You Allergic to Chairs test. You might want to stand up for this.
That's great.
I can't believe I have to say this, but no, GoFundMe does not accept sperm donations.
No, those aren't medical students. They just pay me to watch.
Hey, if you're dating a doctor and you want to get out of it, just eat an apple.
Now, it's important to note that me examining your genitals could lead to an erection, but I will try to stay calm.
All right, thank you very much. Reese made me laugh the most in that round, so his team wins. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now we play a game called Categories. This is pretty simple. I give out a category and ask the comedians to create as many jokes as they can on that subject. It's as easy as that. So the category is lifestyle. So give me some lifestyle jokes.
I'm a hypochondriac. I think I'm sick all the time, and my girlfriend thinks she's pregnant every day. So, great combo, right? I can't go to her with my weird fears about my health anymore because she just one-ups me every time. You know, I'll be like, babe, will you look at my back? I think I have skin cancer. She's like, skin cancer? That's cute. Tell that to your son. Like,
So I have a cat. And got a cat at the house. I like having a cat, you know. Having a cat's like living with a heroin addict. You know, they sleep most of the day, then right when you think you're getting along, they cut you. But cats don't really care about you, you know. I read an article about a guy who tried to blow his brains out, and his dog knocked the pistol out of his hand. I was like, man, I think my cat would load the gun.
I also have a cat. We just got a new one. His name is Password. My girlfriend works in cybersecurity. I learned the most commonly used password is your pet's name, and I didn't feel like changing mine, so Password.
I'm trying to be healthier at the moment. I'm trying to drink more water. You've got to drink so much water, haven't you, throughout the day? It's so hard to remember. So I've come up with this sort of hack that's sort of like you don't even have to remember, it just forces you to drink water and be healthy, and that is, I take ecstasy.
I thought you were gonna say you had one of those hamster bottles in your apartment where you just walk up and go, no, 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 no.
Look, if you're gonna mock British teeth, don't do it in such a subtle way.
Yeah, you know, I'm horrible at picking up the ladies.
No.
Yeah. I always say the wrong thing. I remember I met a girl at a bar recently. I take out a condom. She goes, whoa, where'd you get that thing? I was like, well, they were free at the bar. She was like, oh, that's gross. I was like, well, that's where I got you.
Turned 34 recently. I'm a millennial. Yeah, millennials, we thought we were progressive because we fought for gay marriage. We were like, let gay people marry. And they were like, never. And now Gen Z is like, gender is a myth, sexuality is fluid, and a couple is up to 9 people. And they're like, we'll give you gay marriage. Is that still? It's a hard bargain.
It's kind of a weird time for a lot of us on this panel at the moment, actually. It's kind of, there's a lot of hardship for some of us, because, like, for me especially, my demographic, because I'm a white man.
Oh, no.
Yeah, which means, hear me out for once.
No. I'm just looking at who's clapping.
Listen, I'm a white man, okay, which means that a lot of people hate me at the moment, all right? But listen, I'm a white man, so it doesn't matter. It's literally fine.
Chanel, you know, I've dated a lot of different ethnicities. I think that's good. I think it's good for perspective, you know? Because, like, white guys are fun just because they get so amped. They're very excitable. I mean, the first time I took off my shirt in front of a white guy, he was like, holy smokes. I don't know any black guys that say holy smokes.
Still the best night of my life.
Damn you, Mark. It's private.
I was a math guy. I studied math in college. I love it very much. It means I'm not a fun person. I try to go to parties. It falls apart. I'm like, yeah, bros before hoes, before parentheses, before exponents, before multiplication, before division, before...
I'll tell you, I failed math so many times, I can't even count.
Was great, but I think I'm gonna have to give the round to Mike Norman because he is crazy. Now we play a game called In the Picture. I'll show the teams an image and our comedians suggest captions. So let's have a look at this picture from an old comic book. What are they saying?
This is my white guilt keeping me up at night.
Is this just what happened if you didn't forward an email to 15 friends in 2001?
No. A lot of people don't know, but this is actually what happens when you don't do your taxes.
I am the ghost of masturbation past.
So this is gay porn.
Sure, the one that visits you as a child is sweet, but the wisdom tooth fairy is creepy as hell.
This is actually a photo of me waking up my girlfriend because I'm excited that the hotel has free robes.
Hey, man, this isn't IKEA. You can't sleep in the beds.
The way he's pointing, it looks like he's going, sorry, did I leave my iPhone charger just there? Sorry, did I just...
He's a recruiter for Young Republicans of America.
We need your help!
Oh, no, my pile of used Kleenex has come to life.
That's my favorite.
That's enough. I think the winners are Luke Monet, Chanel Ali, and Reese James. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now let's keep moving with the game called That Reminds Me. I'm going to ask the performer to start talking about any subject. When they're done, everyone else can take turns to jump in and say, that reminds me, and do their own bit based on any thought that's been triggered. So, who wants to start?
I'm very bad at reading, and I've been trying to read more, so what I do is I read the book while listening to the audiobook at the same time, and it works, but I feel like such a little slut that I have to jam it in 4 different holes just to read something. My biggest fear is someone's gonna hand me the book in Braille, and I'll just start tonguing the bumps.
That reminds me, my comedy is a lot like the Polar Express. You have to have the joy of Christmas in your heart to truly hear it. Remember that movie, The Polar Express? It came out in 2004. It was animated, but also kind of not animated. What the is that? The CGI was not there yet. They were like, go for it. No one will notice. This is Tom Hanks. He's the conductor. No. That looks like White Shrek. What is happening? Coincidentally, White Shrek, my nickname in high school.
That reminds me. I was dating a lady, and she was worried she was pregnant, so she got a couple pregnancy tests, and when she wasn't looking, I peed on one. It came up positive. I was like, that's weird, so I Googled it, said I might have testicular cancer. And I thought, whew, still better than a kid.
Question.
Go ahead.
How did the Polar Express remind you of that?
Yeah, that reminds me, I don't get that expression, I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. Oh, we're supposed to trust you, the guy who throws people?
That reminds me. I grew up with a guy who was very homophobic. He was mad that he said gay people stole the rainbow. That was like his big beef. Gay guys took the rainbow, which might be the gayest complaint I've ever heard in my entire life.
That reminds me, I love musicals. Now, Mark, that's how you get reminded of something. My favourite musical is Cats, because it combines my 2 favourite things, cats and men dressed as cats for money.
That reminds me, funny. My favorite musical is Sweeney Todd because of all the white-on-white crime.
They killed so many people in that play. And then they put them in food.
That reminds me, I love yoga pants because you can wear them anywhere. At least that's what I thought before I was kicked out of a stranger's funeral.
That reminds me, I need to stop reading YouTube comments. They're insane. My favorite comment I ever got was, Islam is a cancer, Muslims are rodents. Pretty good set, though. I was so offended. I was like, pretty good.
That reminds me, I was drunk when I wrote that.
Tally.
All right. You were all great that round, but Luke Moniz is the biggest, so his team are the winners. The next game is called Sex with Me. And so you all need to go to your zones of innuendo. You're going to be competing to come up with the funniest innuendos based on the phrase, sex with me is like. So, comedians, let's see what you're comparing your sex to. Breakfast. Is it? Show me.
Sex with me is like breakfast. It involves a surprising amount of pork.
I'm scared. Sex with me is like breakfast. I love it, but can never get up in time to have it.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I prefer to have it alone in my car.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I haven't had it with my entire family since I was a little kid.
Sex with me is like breakfast. If OJ is there, it's gonna get messy.
Sex with me is like breakfast. McDonald's is very particular about when you can do it there.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I don't care what you heard. I stopped serving at 10:30.
Sex with me is like breakfast. People can't remember it 2 hours later.
Sex with me is like breakfast. My doctor says I need to stop adding cheese.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I always leave sticky.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I used to get it from my partner, but now I just use the NutriBullet.
Sex with me is like breakfast. My coworkers get annoyed when I do it at my desk.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I love to. Okay.
Oh my God!
He's out of control. He is out of control.
Good Lord.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I want to get it from Luke.
Joke-Off this week are Luke Moniz, Janelle Ali, and Reese James. Congratulations to you. Hard luck to Ismael Lufti, Mark Norman, and Matthew Broussard. See you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye! Watching the Great American Joke-Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Glenn Moore, Matthew Broussard, Natasha Leggero, Hugh Dennis, Tom Allen, Alonzo Bowden, and I'm Dulce Sloan. Let the joking begin. Welcome to the Great American Joke-Off, the show that's just about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a variety of styles, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest. We've got lots of great games for you. Is everybody ready? Yeah! start with a game called You Know What Annoys Me? This is a chance for our performers to use this platform to sound off about the everyday things that really get on their last nerve. So, who's going to start us off?
You know what annoys me? Polarization. What do you guys think? Polarization, extremely bad or very good?
You know what annoys me? Tesla drivers acting like they're saving the world. If you're a Tesla driver, you're just a Prius driver that made it.
You know what annoys me? The internet. Oh, cannot stand those people who comment on it all the time. I do think people who comment on social media and things are the same people who in the old days would have turned up at a public hanging. Don't you think?
You know what annoys me? How hard it is to get an actual person on the phone when you call a company. The other day, I called, I was trying to place a bomb threat, and the machine said, "Did you know you can place a bomb threat online?"
You know what really annoys me is survival shows, like with Bear Grylls and people. I was asked to be on a survival show, and I only lasted one day, and I got bitten by a snake. And they always say if you get bitten by a snake, you should suck the poison out. But unfortunately, I didn't know which end of the snake to suck. And it bit me again.
You know what annoys me? Pics. Like, we do not want to see a picture of your penis, okay? Your penis is an insult to the eggplant emoji. No, thank you.
You know what annoys me? Judgmental people, because
Sorry.
Sometimes. You know what annoys me? Judgmental people, because sometimes, have you ever done a thing where, like, you buy something in a shop, you try it on, you like it, and so you wear it out the shop, and you've bought it, it belongs to you, and everyone gives you weird looks as if you're not allowed to. Like, they're my condoms.
You know what annoys me? Angry people at comedy clubs. I was doing a show, this guy said, "Oh, great, a black comic. Guess you're gonna do that Black Lives Matter material." I was like, well, I wasn't.
You know what annoys me? I've been trying to write a joke about the Pythagorean theorem. I just can't find the right angle.
You know what annoys me? Young girls, when they hook up, "Oh, we're gonna do it all night long." Slow down. I got one good one. You need more than that, go back to the club. I got bad knees. I can't.
Thank you for telling me.
Speaking of young people, you know what annoys me is when young people, they don't use staples. They just like, well, like if you ask a younger person to print something out for you, they're just like, "Here's a loose pile of papers, you old piece of Get an iPad, bitch."
You know what annoys me? When I was at school, we had to do gym, and I never found out who Jim was.
You know what annoys me? That Waze app. Okay, first of all, Waze can't keep a secret. It's supposed to be my shortcut, not everyone's shortcut.
What annoys me? Slugs. Do you get them in America?
Yes.
Slugs, right?
Yes, we have
I've got
bugs.
a garden, and the slugs go out and attack my foliage. They really, like, cling onto it. And I have to go out in the middle of the night with a torch, like I'm a gay in the 70s. padding around the bushes, right? The only thing getting off is my hydrangeas.
All right, that's great. Thank you very much. I think the winners were... It's a tie! It's time now for a game called If You Catch My Drift. I'll give an everyday location, and our performers have to suggest perfectly innocent things you might say that suddenly sound naughty if you add the words, "if you catch my drift." So, comedians, your scenario is a clothing store. All right.
I'm looking for a top, if you catch my drift.
Wow, this is the biggest gap I've ever seen, if you catch my drift.
That's my shift finished, I'm afraid. Our personal shopper, David, will finish you off. If if you catch my drift.
Your satisfaction is guaranteed if you catch my drift.
I do.
My underwear is also half off, if you catch my drift.
If you want a jacket, you catch my drift.
Is this a Banana Republic, if you catch my drift?
I have that in a larger size, if you catch my drift.
I want something I can wear out, if you catch my drift. Too rude, sorry.
I love it.
Okay, I've got more. I'm gonna try and squeeze into this, if you catch my drift.
Our tailor can give you a few inches, if you catch my drift.
I think you'll like this. It stretches with use, if you catch my drift.
I need pants that can be removed easily in a truck stop bathroom, if you catch my drift.
I took this off a high shelf. I may need help getting it up again. If you catch my drift.
Okay, enough already. I'm giving that round to Tom because he's probably one of the royal family or something. Don't go away. We'll be back with more of the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now we play a game called Get Up There. Two people are going to do stand-up, and I'll decide the winner. So let's see which two people that's gonna be. Tom and Alonzo. So you two both go over to the stand-up area. You can do it, Tom. Alonzo, you're going first. So let's see what your subject is.
I feel like this is a bald person thing here. You've just chosen the two shiniest-headed people you could find.
It's like the end of a pool game.
Okay, Alonzo, your category is technology. Off you go.
I am not a technophobe, but I will tell you that sometimes there's too much technology around. Like, I have Siri on my phone and Alexa in my kitchen. You can't have two women living in the same house. Siri ain't happy about this new woman who's moved in, seems to know everything. I'm like, hey, Siri, what's the weather gonna be like? Why don't you ask that witch? I'm 50 miles from home. My phone, nothing, just dies. I'm like, Siri, what's going on with the phone? She's like, oh, Alexa don't work out here, do she? She needs a cord, doesn't she? So now I gotta keep Alexa in the garage. She's like my side piece. Every now and then I just go down to the garage. I'm like, hey, Alexa, let's buy something. She's like, where the witch at? Don't worry, she upstairs charging. Technology is watching me everywhere. It's my own technology turned on me. I have a Ring doorbell, and you know, it has a camera in it, so when suspicious characters show up, my doorbell reports me every time I come home. Technology's out to get me.
Thank you, Alonzo. Tom, let's see what you're doing. Okay, Tom, your subject is marriage.
Oh,
Take
okay.
it away.
Okay, thank you. I'm gay. Well, I say I'm gay. I hardly find the time. But I'm completely gay as well. Never tried it any other way. I'm a thoroughbred. And now there's a thing called gay marriage, or as I like to call it, garage. And garage is designed to bring equality so that gay people can finally be as miserable as straight people. And as far as I can tell from the outside, right, marriage, right, for anybody, seems to be basically where you go, I don't have a very good credit rating, but you have got a job. If we can combine, then we can get closer to achieving my dream of owning my own house. So what happens is people have a big party about getting married, don't they? They have a big party, and basically getting married is just signing a contract. We don't do it for any other kind of contract, do we? You don't have a party when you sign a cell phone contract, and quite frankly, you should do, because some of those 2-year deals are much more binding. And then you sign the contract, and then afterwards, what married couples seem to do is they go, right, we're going to try and save up a down payment. I'm going to try and buy a house. And they put down the down payment, and they buy the house, and then they go, right, don't worry about anything else. Just keep paying off the mortgage. That's all we've got to do. Just keep paying off the mortgage. Yes, I don't really like you anymore. Just keep paying off the mortgage. That's what we're going to do. Just keep paying off the mortgage. Yeah, we'll have a child if you want, if it shuts you up. Let's just hope it doesn't look like you. Just keep paying off the mortgage. Yes, I know you had an affair. I turned a blind eye. Yes, we'll go away together on a vacation. Just don't look at me. Just keep paying off the mortgage. Just keep paying off the mortgage. And then as you get a bit older, it seems to turn into a bit of a game, and basically whoever outlives the other one wins a house.
Thank you. I think Tom was the winner. Both of you come sit back down. Now let's play a game called What, Where, or Who. This is where we give our comedians something you might say in either a location in which to say it or a person to say it to. So everyone, your what is things that would ruin the mood. And your where is a dinner party. So let's hear some things that would ruin the mood at a dinner party. Take it away.
And to top it all off, a bottle of the 1972 very good milk.
And for dessert, the antidote.
So I'll just be seating you right here in between Johnny and Amber.
Yes, I spotted your cat in my garden earlier. Who wants more chicken?
Yes, we do have a vegetarian option. Go away and come back after dinner.
Yes, Sue, I know you're a vegan. That's why I served you a grass-eating cow.
This is delicious, Doctor. Fava beans, a nice Chianti. What did you say that meat was?
Oh, I hope you enjoyed the dish. I picked it up at a little wet market in Wuhan.
So I thought we'd have a bit of a themed dinner party tonight. Has anyone seen Squid Game?
No, it's not Parmesan, actually. I wondered where I put my pedicure foot file.
Samantha, you are such a phenomenal chef. It's just such a shame that Jenny was cooking!
Caroline from number 7. This is Sally from number 12 and her husband, although, of course, you two already know each other because I've seen you having sex through my telescope.
All right, thank you very much. You win that round for being the most famous British person here. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke-Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke-Off, where it's all about the jokes. And now it's time for a game called That Reminds Me. I'm gonna ask a performer to start talking about any subject. When they're done, everyone else can jump in and take turns and say, that reminds me, and do their own bit. All right, so who wants to start?
This is possibly very self-indulgent. So, there's a girl who works on the show, and we dated when I was about 13 years old. We went out for like 2 weeks, and we broke up, didn't talk again for years, and then a few months ago, we suddenly started talking again, and we got really close, ended up working on the show. And the only reason I bring her up is because in about 9 months' time, she's going to officially become Mrs. Moore. Thank you. Yeah, she's just got engaged to my dad, and
You bastard.
That reminds me, what happened to those rich parents paying money to get their dumbass kids into college? I mean, there was a parent that paid $6 million to get their kid into Stanford. Just give the kids $6 million.
That reminds me, a lot of my friends have children, and I don't like them.
Jeff,
friends or the children?
Both now. No, they're very, parenting now is a lot of talking, isn't it? When I was a child, if I misbehaved, I wasn't talked to. I'd be taken upstairs, and I would have been smacked around the legs, and I would have loved it.
That reminds me, people think because I get Botox that I'm vain. I'm not. I'm just very competitive at poker. Pays for itself.
That reminds me, I went to the doctor for a booster this week. He said I looked lovely and I'd lost a lot of weight.
Seriously, you think that's bad? I'm in the wrong round.
If you catch my drift.
Sorry, it's a fly.
Oh, my God. I thought you were going to be like, play the game normally!
Killing it for you.
It's like when Obama did it. That was incredible.
It's dead!
That reminds me, never bring your pets into the studio, ever.
All right, the winners of that round were Tom Allen, Natasha Leggero, and Glenn Moore. And The Fly. The next game is called Sex with Me. So you all need to go to your zones of innuendo. To come up with the funniest innuendos based on the phrase, sex with me is like. So, comedians, let's see what you're comparing your sex to. Okay, so that sex with me is like a job. Let go.
Sex with me is like a job. I'll do it for free healthcare.
Sex with me is like a job. If you don't aim high enough, you'll get the sack.
Sex with me is like a job. I work in IT, so I'm going to turn you on and turn you off again.
Sex with me is like a job. There's a lot of people doing it that didn't think they'd end up here.
Sex with me is like a job. You're always looking for a raise.
Sex with me is like a job. I'm always on the phone to a Japanese businessman.
Sex with me is like a job. I have some holes in my resume.
Sex with me is like a job. It always involves a bunch of Americans and Tom Allen.
Okay, that's enough. Okay, let's try. Sex with me is like a car, is it? Show me.
Sex with me is like a car in that I can only really handle 5 people.
Sex with me is like a car. I don't know how to handle a stick.
Sex with me is like a car. I'm being replaced by something electric.
Sex with me is like a car. You may smell burning rubber.
Sex with me is like a car. There's a lot of space in the trunk.
Sex with me is like a car. Just set the cruise control, relax, and enjoy the ride.
Sex with me is like a car in that it often contains a man going through a midlife crisis.
Sex with me is like a car. Old men give me unsolicited advice about it at random intervals.
Sex with me is like a car. I always end up with my face in the airbags.
You feel safe?
Sex with me is like a car. My dad bought me my first one.
Right after these messages. Stay tuned. That's the end of the show. And in my opinion, the winners of the Great American Joke Off this week are Glenn Moore, Natasha Leggero, and Tom Allen. Congratulations to you. Hard luck to Alonzo Bowden, Hugh Dennis, and Matthew Bassard. See you next time. Thank you for watching.